First stream starting out strong. Didn't even have my mic plugged in. Awesome, cool. So like I unmuted it and I was like, why wasn't it doing anything? Gee, wonder why. If there was a tally for how many things I've messed up, it's probably 90% just stream related stuff. Audio related stuff in regards to stream. There we go. Got all set up, just gotta get the background in too. My hair is very fluffy today, Lord have mercy. Fluffy as hair. Let me get the background in. Oh, it looks so creepy back there. There we go. Might have to adjust the colors slightly. Maybe that? Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too great either, but you know. Let's check preferences or anything. Honestly, everything seems pretty good for me at the moment. Welcome, I feel welcome. Oh no, the green screen's messing up too. Damn, okay. This should be a simple fix though. I had a big breakfast and now I'm like super sleepy. The eep has gotten me. That should be better. There's a little bit of green leaking, but there's been worse, for sure. Oh, okay. More water. It's sluggish. Okay. Welcome to the Silver Shields demo. Let's save. Adventuring Guild looking for new recruits. Join the Silver Shields today. Free lodging and food included. Must know how to cook. Okay, well then I'm fucking shooing. Now, my OC, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, I like the UI. I take a seat across from the commander. It had, actually I don't like end syntax, so I'm gonna turn that down. I like when it loads in, because I'm a weirdo. It had been a trek to reach the encampment, and it feels good to be off my feet finally. He shuffles some papers, squinting at them and dipping a quill in the ink pot beside him, carefully screwing the lid back on. I hope the journey wasn't too taxing on you. Getting here in one piece works as a way for us to make sure you're up to the task. Glad to see you made it. He gives me a firm nod, resting his hand on the parchment. He's got large hands, covered in tiny scars and bruising across his knuckles, along with some considerable amount of hair. Damn, we are locked in. I'm Commander Darius, Rastami. There isn't a hierarchy in the Silver Shields, but for all intents and purposes, I'm your, well, I don't enjoy the word leader. Oh, he has heterochromia. I didn't even notice that before. But I'm here to provide guidance and make decisions for the group, with plenty of input from the rest of the guild, but I'm in charge of arranging contracts and keeping the place running. He holds up the parchment. And the fun stuff, paperwork. I've just got to ask you a few questions as a new recruit to the guild. Standard questions. I do it with everyone who signs up. That all right? I nod my consent, and he grabs the parchment, holding it close. Why did they write it so damn small? I can't... He sighs between gritted teeth before offering me a quick grin, not him just being old. Okay, old man. I'm sorry you can't read the tiny little bitty text. The first one is easy, at least. What can we call you? You said easy. It ain't easy for me, dog. I probably should have thought about this before and thought about it multiple times, but you know what? We got time, so when in doubt, Pinterest it out. Not that you can see it. Honestly, I don't think the world needs to see my Pinterest, to be completely honest. Would you believe it if I said that I mostly use my damn Pinterest for names anymore? I use it for other things too. I'm feeling being a lady this time, so what kind of lady are we? I have always really liked that name. The name is Kara, but I was like, I'm feeling it needs to be a name that I wouldn't use probably for anything. Oh no, my voice. It's probably a name I wouldn't use for anything else was my thought process. So taking a sip to refresh the brain. Music going off as well. Let's go with... Every time I like kind of decide on a name, I'm like, oh. I did like Effie when I saw it. Effie's cute. We'll go with Effie. I forgot what it meant though, like immediately. What does Effie mean? Effie means apparently... It means pretty face. So, they said it, not me. They said it, not me. Whatever person. So Effie it'll be. Effie, is that spelling right? Good morning, Gray. You know what? It's funny you showed up at the perfect time, as you could probably notice, because it took me that long to figure out a name. But we decided on Effie. Which apparently, according to Pinterest, means pretty face. So, we're pretty face. That's us. Effie, is that spelling right? Good, good. He glances down to the next question. And how do you prefer we refer to you? Choose your first pronoun. Go be she. Go be her. He marks that down with a nod. Good to know. Alright, next up I'd like to know a little bit about your combat experience. As an adventuring guild, we are often called upon to face against dangerous creatures, and it's important to know each other's strengths and weaknesses. How have you been trained combat-wise? Martially with weapons, magically a mix of both martial and magical. I have a character that I'm waiting to like write about later on, but they are a battle mage, and I think battle mages are like the coolest specific like brand, but Effie don't feel like that to me. Effie feels magical to me. Yeah, you could say that. I'm a mage. He makes a note and glances up. And how does your magic manifest itself? Not feeling like a sorcerer. Maybe healing. I do like illusions. Illusions could be fun. Let's go with illusions. Let's be a little tricky Effie. Battle mages are fun. Hee, they are. Handy as a distraction. Yeah, it's because I got a pretty face. I'm a natural distraction. He writes all of that down, taking his time. Very good. For the next question, I would like to know what talents or skills you've honed that could help in both day-to-day life at camp and through our adventuring missions. I'm coercive, observant, academic, or cunning. Coercive means like... I'm being stupid here for a second. It's like persuading, right? It's like you can bring people onto your side. Like you're good with your words. I'm thinking, right? Unless I'm thinking of the wrong word. Okay, cool. Sorry, my brain hasn't woken up entirely yet. And it was just funny to say because I ran errands this morning, so like I've been up for a hot minute. I'm a sweet talker. Good talker and a pretty face. He makes a note of my answer. Honestly, I'm just channeling my inner Johnny Cage today. I'm just channeling him. Pretty, good talker, we're all about it. We're breezing through good. And yes, I did wear this shirt to run my errands. I wanted to know a little bit about what you were doing before this. Call it curiosity more than anything else to get a feel of what your origins are. My family comes from nobility. I was a bounty hunter. I lived secluded from civilization. I was a scholar. I served in a temple. I was involved in some shady business. My past is my own. Okay. I really do like the idea of them being like a magical person with like a lot of coercion and illusion spells, and then just being like a general prankster in a noble house, or like having some sort of like good upbringing. Something about that is very funny to me. I didn't realize rejecting the silver spoon, are we? Yeah, silver spoon, trading it out for a silver shield. Am I right or am I right? Another question and it's follow-up. Do you worship any of the divine pantheon? We can make accommodations for your worship here. We have no temple at the encampment yet, but all faiths are welcome. No. No. And that is welcome too. We only have a few of the faithful in camp. Marking that down, he nods. There is one thing I am obligated to ask. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the region, but under the jurisdiction of the Elsladar Kingdom, all mages must have their arcane license. It allows you to practice magic legally and without issue, and for the Empire to keep tabs on powerful magic users. It's often required either through the Empire itself or one of the temples is able to provide it. But before I can bring you on, I just need to confirm that you have a license. If you don't, well, we can discuss that further. He looks at me expectantly. Yes, I have mine right here. No, I don't currently have one. Lie and tell him you haven't. I don't have one and never will. Okay. So I feel like we could go in a lot of different directions here. A part of me wants to test out our coercion because we said that we're coercive, so let's just fucking lie. Like immediately. Effie more like Lord of Lies. How many jokes? That has become a meme of this fucking channel. It's just anytime somebody lies, I'm like, they're the Lord of Lies. We're gonna coerce. I just want to see if it will work. Of course I have my license. Of course, yeah. May I see the document for the bookkeeping record? I lost the original copy. Oh, well, perhaps you can ask for a new copy the next time we've arrived in town and send away for it. Yeah, I'll do that. It'll probably take a while. Do I have to wait that long? Not at all. We'll get you sorted whenever your license comes in. You could show it to me. No issues there then. We fucking did it! Well, thank you for answering all those. It's been very informative. I'm sure the others in the guild will be eager to meet the new recruit less formally. Oh, one last thing before we get going. It said on the recruitment poster that we required our next member to be a cook. We haven't had the best luck, any of us. You're able to cook, right? We just lie again. It's like, yeah, of course we can. Wouldn't have taken the job if I couldn't. Yes, I'm comfortable being the party cook. That was a requirement. I can't cook. Yeah, I'm comfortable. Whatever. I could mix it up. You have no idea how glad I am to hear that. The last person who tried to sign up, he shudders. Anyway, you're here now. I love that that's their requirement. That is important, you know. Which also implies that none of our love interests can cook, which is insane. Well, I'll be happier to have someone with actual culinary skills around, that's for sure. He places the paper away. Well, Effie, we're done. You're our new... And I imagine Effie's a nickname. What is it a nickname for? I don't know. But just know, it's probably not the actual full name. Maybe. They're all terrible cooks. How are they alive? You're our newest recruit, though the only one you have to answer to is me. You've done plenty of answering already. We take on missions and scout out the areas around Adelfell, Woodland, the Iron Blood Peaks, and Corrowick Swamp in the region of Renelian. Sometimes people contact us about problems, sometimes we run into them ourselves. The place is known for being high in monstrous and unnatural activity. It's why the guild was started in the first place. Our commitment is to keep the region and its people safe, though most of your time will likely be spent in camp rather than out in the field. We have some wooden walls around the place and scouting towers to keep an eye out. We also have a small training yard, but we hope to continue to expand as we take on more contracts and have the funds for them. Our guild is small, so we need everyone to help out with the mundane day-to-day task. And speaking of the guild size, you'll be our 7th member. We're a tight group, but we're all glad to welcome someone new. Jesus. You'll be paid after each successful mission. Part of it we keep to expand the guild's encampment. The rest is yours to do as you please. During missions, you've expected to help your fellow party members and to watch each other's backs. Remember, there's no shame in running as long as you all run together. Aw, that's cute. While you're at camp, you'll be our camp cook and need to provide for breakfast and dinner for the rest of the guild. Our pantry is rather non-existent for some of us. Hunt, fish, and forage and can provide you with what you'll need. We have a small farm to grow certain herbs and vegetables and a chicken coop, though mostly we rely on making runs between here and Timberhall, nearby town. When it's not mealtime and you're around camp, you'll be expected to participate in the everyday duties, and help out. But you'll have food, shelter, and protection. He leans back in his chair, squinting at me. I have another question, not for the record keeping, just me wanting to pry. Why did you decide to join up? Adventuring life isn't for everyone. I needed the money, I was looking for fellowship, I need a place to lie low for a while. I wanted to do something for the greater good. I'm not sure. Honestly, the I'm not sure is hilarious. Just, I was a noble person, I just kind of do shit, I don't even know what our true origins are. I'm just fucking around and find out, really. That's alright, there's no pressure for an answer. Hey, when you figure it out, come find me, I'd like to know. Sure. He slaps his knees as he stands with a groan. Why don't you take a walk around the encampment? I've talked your ear off enough. Effie's doing it for a bit. They really are giving that energy, huh? No one's out on a mission right now, so you'll be able to meet the rest of the guild. Oh, that's a lie. Fredley was running an errand, but she should be back by tonight. And Effie, welcome to the Silver Shields. Glad to be here. I head out for the rest of the encampment to have a look around and see where everything is. There are several different tents scattered around and a fire pit in the middle to the side. There's a very small garden and a few clucking hens hanging around their coop. While what catches my attention is the sound of a barking dog. Oh my gosh, brings me back to Dragon Age right there. Just around the side of the small guild hall is a shaggy dog hopping excitedly in front of a crouched figure. The dog circles, barking. You know, I'm not allowed to give you any more today. The dog makes a sad whine. Yes, that is a very good point, but Darius said you asked for more food from all of us, so you're being fed several times a day. Is this true? The dog sits, wagging. Well, Darius said differently, so perhaps I shall have to speak to him again. The dog yips and then turns its head towards me and bounds forward, eager to greet the new person in camp. I freeze up, frightened. I let it smell my hand. I pet it eagerly. I let it smell my hand. I crouch down and place a hand out firmly. Honestly, this is the correct way to do it. Like, you should never just pet a dog you don't fucking know. Like, that is all. I used to work at a dog sanctuary. I do actually have knowledge on this. I don't have knowledge on everything. Sometimes I just be yapping. But I do have knowledge about that. Always, like, fist up. Because you don't want to give them anything that they can bite, either. So let it smell and test me out before it presses its head into my palm to be pet. When I glance, gotta let him sniff check. When I glance up, the person who was talking to the dog is gone. I blink, looking around, then peeking from around the building is an antler. A face follows soon after. Oh, they're shy. I'm sorry. I've never pronounced Neo pronouns, so if I do it wrong, I'm sorry. I think it's like Z, right? It would be like Z has soft round features and tall antlers crowning their head. I'm pretty sure is how it's done. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Furry legs and in cloven hooves. Z's eyes, that's okay. It's similar to a Z, yeah. Or maybe it's like she, or like G. I think G is probably closer, actually. If I'm thinking about like how Chinese Mandarin is like done, where it's like, maybe I'm thinking too deeply about it as well. G's eyes dart around and the dog returns to Zher's side, landing Zher's feet with a flop. She crouches down and pets it. Peach, what do you think? Yeah, a bit like a xylophone. Yeah, that's like kind of how I was thinking about it. The dog lets out a woof, eagerly wagging her tail. Oh, she is the new recruit? She glances at me and back to the dog. I forgot Darius was bringing in another member. Peach wants to know your name. Your voice is soft and breathy, and I have to strain to listen. I'm Effie. Okay. She nods and doesn't give her own name. Okay. And the dog is named Peach. Peach barks in agreement. She's very excited to meet you. Peach barks again, and your eyes go wide. Oh, I also forgot to introduce myself. Everyone says I forget things. I guess I forgot they said that. I am Jin of the Starspire. She tilts her head, taking a deep breath in. Those in the woods said there was a traveler. Who was in the woods? The birds and the squirrels, the foxes and the rabbits. They've seen, heard, and watched. They could speak to you? I mean, yeah, they were just talking to a dog. Effie, come on. They speak to all of us. You need to learn to listen. We don't do that. We don't do that around here. Do we look like we listen? She fiddles with her hands, never quite making eye contact. Most of your words are directed somewhere near my shoes. Why did you join the Silver Shields? Because of Darius. He was the first. I was the third. Who was the second? But she just shakes her head. Do not ask that of him, promise? Oh, okay, they're dead. They're dead for sure. Oh my god, Effie does not listen, no. We just lie and listen. We just eat hot chip, be bisexual, and lie. Like, that's all we do. I don't understand, I promise. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure I follow, because I'm a fucking idiot. There was another once, but no longer. One should not stick their fingers into a wound. The visual is disgusting enough to get me back on track. He was first, I was third. He brought me from the Starspire and let me see the world. Where did he take you from? I just answered a flyer. It's nuts. Jesus Christ, Effie. There's more. I told them to place the fire. I could see another shape in the distance, and now you're here. A shape? In the stars. There is much to be seen in the stars if you know how to look. She closes her eyes for a moment. There was a magician casting miracles across the sky. When she opens her eyes for a moment, I swear I can see the stars reflected in them. The constellation was bright last night. I made a mark of it. What constellation? the crown, looking down upon us, but the stars were dimming. Jin glances away, fiddling with your long fingers again. I've told others what I've seen. They don't believe me. Who doesn't believe you? Sounds accurate to me. Sounds like a lot of guesswork. Okay, let's just coerce. I mean, we already got 1 point in it. Who doesn't believe you? Having trouble with some of the others? Not trouble. I shouldn't be telling. Come on, we're getting to know each other. Okay, we're manipulative as fuck. What is this? Frelly doesn't believe me. She thinks that the only those of Yumdir can tell the future. Wait, is that the same god thing from Travelers and Tales? I remember like reading that name a lot. But I'm not telling the future. I am interpreting it. Interesting. Interesting. We don't give a fuck. Peach lets out a bark, winding around Jin's legs. Peach says, I can't keep you. It's the same universe. That makes sense. I just wanted to double confirm. Peach barks again, nudging against your leg. Oh, in that, the others will be excited to meet you. She glances around and without another word, she bounces with Peach hot on your heels. I let out a breath and recenter myself after all of that. Deciding to explore the rest of the camp, I make my way to the fire pit in the middle. There's still a chill in the air, winter hanging on when the snow is gone. I'm grateful to warm my hands for a moment. Sparks drift lazily into the crisp air. Across the fire pit, I can see 2 figures standing together, their voices ringing out. Not me. This is what I've been waiting for. My time has come. You know what your expectations are. It's the stupidest duty any of you could put me on. Yes, let's make the ice mage tend the fire. What could possibly go wrong? Calm yourself, we have company. One of them turns towards me, a woman, older, perhaps though. I can't tell what age. Her gaze pierces right through me. I expect some malice or wrath within it, with how fiery it seems, but there's none of that. It's steady. The same cannot be said of the man next to her, face pinched into a cold sneer. He's an elf, one that's frail enough that I think a strong breeze could topple him over, damn, especially compared to his sturdy companion. You must be our new recruit. It'll be a pleasure to have a new face around camp. Sick of the rest of us, are you? Perhaps only one of you. Straightening her shoulders, she inclines forward in a half bow. My name is Radia. My companion here is Wit. Wit got no wit. Wit peers down at me, harsh lines at the furrow of his brows. Another mage. His eyes flick to Radia. Gonna keep her on a tight leash, too? Radia just folds her arm in front of her. Please, pay him no mind. Gonna get a muzzle for me now? Oh. Alright, guys, get a room. Wait, got no wit and no riz. No bitches, nothing. As he speaks, the fire in the pit wavers and suddenly goes out with an icy gust of wind. She holds up a hand and he quiets down, slumping back with a roll of his eyes. Rowdy gives me an apologetic look as she crouches down by the fire and pulls out a small matchbox. She strikes it against the side and lights it once again, a much weaker flame. You know you could light it a lot faster. There's value in doing things the traditional way. You never know what circumstances you might be in. Are matchboxes naturally existing in the wild? I've been taught many ways to start a fire with the resources available. You have a resource right at your disposal. He snaps a finger. He never turns away from her, never looking at me when he speaks. When he speaks, Radia closes her eyes. We're hardly making a good impression for our new recruit. My apologies, Fred. No, you're making the perfect impression. What impression should we give off, then? She won't last, anyway. Wait. Her voice is stern, disapproving. What? You know I'm right. The last 2 didn't. He finally turns to me, and the temperature drops a few degrees. What do you think you're doing here? Out for glory? Gold? Actually, I have no fucking clue. You won't find it. You'll lose your mind to boredom before you actually make a cent. Hey, if you want some good-ass food, you better shut the fuck up. I'm gonna poison your food. Do not talk to your cook this way. Thank you for the warning. You're being rude. You're being rude. You've been nothing but rude the entire time. You better shut the fuck up for real. Oh, have I? What a tragedy. She's right. Your behavior is not becoming. You should apologize. His jaw clenches and I shiver. It's only growing colder by the minute. I apologize. He doesn't sound like he means it. It's okay, we're the same. We say shit we don't mean to. We'll workshop that. I'm sorry on his behalf if that will be acceptable. Then what are you still doing here? I don't have a choice. He refuses to elaborate. It's a complicated situation. He wasn't a recruit like you are, like most of us were. Can't you leave? He snorts a violent sound. If I could, do you really think I'd be here? So they're holding you here against your will? He lets out an annoyed sigh with the questions that I'm answered with another eye roll. There are many more factors at play. He's no prisoner. He grits his teeth. Feels like it. I nod, not really sure what's going on, but sensing it's a delicate subject. Damn, we're so observant, holy shit. Roddy's fingertips steeple together, and she lets out a sigh through her nose. I hope this doesn't put you off. Things are always so eventful. There is much peace to be found here in the forest, when there is quiet. She side-eyes Wit, who's sulking beside her. I believe we're due on patrol. I'm glad we had a chance to meet. Wit just huffs and follows her as they walk away. The fire crackles and pops, smoke curling skyward and bringing warmth to the area again. I warm up by the fire, watching the ice slowly begin to melt and drip down into the grass below. The wash of heat is welcome in a rapidly dimming sky. I long for the endless summer nights. Summer lovin'. I don't know. That's where my mind went immediately. I hear someone behind me, a quiet chuckle. Who's laughing at me? Oh, goodness. Oh, the teeth? The teeth? What a troop we are, thinking that you took a wrong turn, darling. I turn around and see someone stretched lazily outside their tent, fanning themselves with a hand fan. They snap it shut, and their long, shaking tail wraps around it and places it down on the grass. Also, the music is going so hard. Teefies! Hate to be the one to break it to you. Everyone only gets a stranger the longer you know them. Wait, I didn't read that right. Only gets stranger the longer you know them. They roll over, resting their pointed chin on folded arms, and looking up at me with a fanged grin. Lucky for you, I'm the only normal one here. Everyone has been nice. Lie. Things have been a little weird. Everything has been a lot weird. We're either lying or we're telling just the blunt truth. There's no in between. I nod in agreement. Is everyone like this here? They chuckle. Oh yes, only some are better at covering it up. Adventuring attracts the strange and lonesome, those on the fringe. Who else would camp out in the woods away from the comforts of the city? And are you strange or lonesome? Terribly lonesome. Why don't you come and join me, darling? In a fluid moment, they're back to lounging outside the tent and offer me a spot across from them on the small rug that they have set out. I take a seat. They reach out a hand and I shake it. They are warm and their nails are long and sharp, but very well taken care of. Saren, the pleasure is all mine, and it is Saren, right? Or is it Serene? No, it's like serendipity, right? So it's Saren. And yours, perhaps in time, darling. Effie. Their tail taps against the ground, and they lean a cheek on their palm. Aren't you something? Tell me, Effie, would you consider yourself a lucky person? Yeah, we would. I mean, we were born into fucking royalty. You can't get more lucky than that. Very much so. How happy am I to hear that. Are you very lucky? One can't get very far without having a little bit of it. A coincidence, a chance, just the right timing. Isn't that all what life is? All we can hope for is good fortune. From seemingly nowhere, they produce a set of dice. Let's play. They dance the dice between their fingers. It's very simple. We both roll secretly and decide to keep the roll or roll again. Once the roll is secured, we both roll the second dice openly. Highest total wins, but there's a catch. Every time you roll your first dice, you subtract that many times from your total. Let's say I roll a 3 and decide to roll again. I get a 1. Terrible. So I roll again and get a 5. My second dice lands on a 4 for a total of 9. Now only 7 because I rolled again twice. That makes sense, okay. Now for a wager. They tap a finger against their chin. Gold is boring. No, a dare. To be cashed in at any time. You in? They hand me 2 dice and keep 2 for themselves. I take my first one and shake it in my hand. Roll the dice! I roll my dice, and it lands on a 4. I stake a glance over to them, and they are already lounging back, waiting for me. Let's keep it. I decide to keep the 4. Ready to roll? They roll, and the dice lands right on the 6. They grin. I let mine roll, and it lands on a 3. Fuck. The first dice is 4, so 7 total with no rerolls. 11 for me, minus 1 for 10. They lean back, arms behind their head. Lucky me. Good try, though. It's okay. They scoop up all the dice, pocketing them. A dare in the pocket, too. Worst ways to get to know someone. They lean on one arm, tail flicking lazily across their legs. Looks like my luck continues. They wink. Why, I got to meet you. Another stroke of good fortune. Okay, I'm really liking Sarah. Especially for Effie. I feel like these two will just get on naturally. I'd say it's all rather serendipitous. That's me, after all. Saren's only a nickname. I actually go by Serendipity. Their tail pokes my arm and they grin. I think we're gonna have plenty of fun, Effie. And you're right. You're right on that. You've got great You know, they cup a hand around their ear. And what's that I hear? The clop of hooves? And it's not Jin. Too many of them. That would be our dear shining star Frelly. She'll be eager to meet you, I'm sure. I glance across the camp and see an approaching horse and carriage. Go on now. I'm not going anywhere. Just lounging the night away. They wave me off and I start making my way over. I notice that I have a small dice in my hand. They must have slipped me, but I have no idea when. I tuck it into my pocket. I head across the camp to where the wooden gate is pushed open by a stout figure before she grabs the reins of the horse and trots him along inside. Who's a good boy? Yes, it's you. An extra apple for that journey. She has to stand up on her tiptoes to stroke his mane and begins to unhook him from the cart. Glancing up as she notices my approach, her face splits into a wide grin. Commander Rostami said there would be a new recruit when I got back. She marches her way over and shakes my hand with both of her own eagerly. She's a dwarf, easy to tell by both her height and the wisp of hair across her sideburns and cheeks, which, when she scratches at it, she has an amulet around her neck, the symbol of the sun. Real pleased to meet you. I'm Frelly. I introduce myself as she leads the horse over to the side. Wish we had a proper stable for this one. It's just a wooden roof overhead and food and water trough. She chews on her lip, taking off his riding gear. This is Cricket, our brave beast of burden. He flicks his tail, and she takes the saddle off and hangs it up on the iron hook against the structure of the wall, and dusts off her hands. So, the commander said you were going to be our new cook, right? Thank Maiden. We've been rotating, and let me tell you something. I think some of them are trying to poison us. Hey! I still fucking might, Frelly. I still fucking might. The jury is out. I mean, I never need to know how to cook before this. How am I supposed to learn on the fly? She waves a hand in front of her as she talks and laughs. And here I am, yammering away, and I was just at Timber Hall picking up some supplies and stuff for dinner. She smacks a sack of potatoes in the cart, hopping up on a little step and hoisting it over with her shoulder, with a surprising display of strength. Not surprising! Don't just stand around and leave me hanging. Half the stuff is for you, after all. She laughs, and I grab a bag and help her take it outside the guild hall. We're lucky Timber Hall is only a couple hours away, and it's a beautiful ride. We take turns going into town for supplies, and the merchants all know us there and have our orders ready. It's a pretty small place, nothing like Aslador. Aslador? You're not from around here, right? I thought Darius mentioned something like that when he got your response letter to the flyer. We trek back to the cart, and she grabs a large crate full of various fresh vegetables and hauls it back, still talking the whole way. I might be a city girl, but this whole region is beautiful. Renelian used to be all elven, did you know? You can find tons of ruins and artifacts left behind. That's part of why I wanted to join the Silver Shields. There's so much history to be found out here. There's a lot of wild, untamed magic, which can be dangerous, but she shrugs, hoisting the crate against the side of the building. Lots to learn from it, too. She really is a yapper. I love that for her. That sounds interesting. That sounds boring. No, it sounds interesting. That all sounds really cool. So, you're a historian? I wouldn't go that far, just fascinated by the subject. I love going out and exploring and getting my hands dirty. I have some of the most amazing things I've collected. I'll have to show you sometime. We drop the final load of groceries and she puts her hands on her hips. Alright, that's everything I brought in. Thanks for your help. The rest of them never lift a finger. Oh, let Frelly do it. She's the strongest. She laughs heartily again. Only joking. Commander Rostami and Radia always pitch in. Aw, the two best. Wow. The others, though. If they would only let Radia lead them through some morning exercises together, I know they could build the muscle they need. She places her hand on her chest and makes her voice both haughty and whiny, and even though I only met him briefly, I instantly recognize it as wit impersonation. Oh, why do I need to exercise? I'm a spellcaster, not some barbarian. She throws her hand up in the air. Well, what happens when you're right up against a monster and the best course of action is to hit it as hard as you can with your staff? But no, that it becomes, save me, Frelly, save me! She cracks up, leaning an arm against the wall to brace herself. Have fun with that whenever you're put on a mission with wit, let me tell you. I'm also a magic user, I can't help them. They're either gonna figure it out or die. She tilts her head up and looks at the setting sun. Looks like I made a good time after all. Got caught up on the way back, navigating the Adolfell. Woof. She glances. Not my strongest suit. Half the time it feels like the path is leading you astray and you get all turned around. Our next project should be building a road between here and Timber Hall. That's what I keep saying. But no, it's unrealistic and out of budget. She makes finger quotes in the air to punctuate. The Asladorian Empire has barely made any progress in charting this territory, and they have been starting. That's how we can make a gold, because they need to hire us to clear the area of the monsters. She flexes her arms. They know who to call. We're in Dragon's Dogma, let's go. We operate there on Adelfell Woodland into the south around Corwick Swamp. Creepy fucking place. She visibly shudders. And your boots get full of muck. No, I much prefer it when we get sent to the Ironblood Peaks. It's the mountain range to the west of here. Lots of old mining caverns and new ones. Tough job. Glad I'm not doing that. She smacks her forehead suddenly. Goodness, I think I've talked your ear off long enough. It's nearly supper time. Who needs one of them fancy timepieces when your stomach already knows? I'll let you get to it. We've just got a little pantry inside. Just never uses a watch. She shows me inside, bringing the groceries in with us as she starts to unload. The shelves are pretty barren. We got a couple of pots, pans, knives, and such. I'll let you find them and get comfortable in here. She puts a sack of potatoes in the corner and rocks back on her heels, looking proudly at it. Great to meet you again, Effie. I'll let the others know we're getting ready for dinner. I just had this thought that, like, what if Effie made a meal and then just put, like, an illusion spell on it? So, like, Wit thinks they're getting, like, a really delicious dinner, but they're actually just getting fucking oatmeal. Get wrecked! Get wrecked! Frelly measures everything by her hunger level like a true dwarf. She leaves me in the storeroom, looking around at the limited ingredients and wondering what exactly to make. I rummage through what's available in the pantry, searching for things I can work with. Grabbing a large kettle, I look up and down and hope none of the mages in the group have been using it as a cauldron. I have to jog out and get a bucket of water from the well that's just outside the compound to fill it up. Then I get to boiling over a fire. I wash my hands in a little basin, wiping them clean with a soft linen towel that I place back up on the rack. I determine what I have to work with. There's a decent cut of beef that's fresh, so I decide to take that and set it aside with all the vegetables here. I figure I can make a very nice soup. Finding a little workplace space and kitchen, I get started on chopping up an onion. My eyes water instantly. Okay, there's this cool fact that I learned that, like in primitive times, soup became one of the first foods that we consumed because back then we didn't have like pots and kettles even. I'm going like back like to the caveman times, or like probably actually in between that. But basically they used to use animal carcasses as ways to like cook soup. So like, because like for instance, like a raw chicken, if you just take out the innards and stuff, you can place stuff back in there and water, and then it can cook itself, you know what I mean, like on a thing. And I found that super interesting, and that's how like stuffing birds and stuff became like a thing, because we just didn't actually have like pots or kettles or anything for that. We've always craved soup, and I mean it works because like it also stretches very good, you know, and water was accessible, at least more accessible than some other things, so it's incredible. Oh neat, like stuffing a turkey at Thanksgiving. Yeah, exactly. Finding a little workspace and kitchen, I get started on chopping up an onion. My eyes water instantly and I can barely see help. I wipe them on my shoulder, suffering through with a sputter as I place them in the bowl. The worst is over. I can move on to chopping the garlic. Using the heel of my palm, I strike the bulb of garlic into pieces to discard the flaky shell. Then I cut the carrots into discs and add bits of celery and put it all into the kettle. I prefer the beef next, dicing it into cubes and sizzling it separately to cook before adding to the pot. Okay, we really do know what the fuck we're doing. We have a small drying rack of herbs, and I add thyme. I love thyme. And parsley, and open up a burlap sack that's half full of salt. There aren't many spices available. We're too far from the capital to get any, but it's starting to smell good. Honestly, you only need salt, pepper, and some herbs, and you'll be fine. The stock's gonna make itself. And it would be like making a stock with the bones, too. Exactly! I stir it with a long wooden spoon. I take a spoonful and blow on it to cool it, steam wafting away. I take a bite. It would be better with barley, I figure, but we don't have any, and if I had the chance to make a proper broth, that would have been nice, but for a first night without all the ingredients, it's not bad. I mean, it's probably better than anything any of these clowns can fucking do, so don't worry about it. I let it simmer for a while, and I clean up and dunk the used pots and cooking utensils in a large basin. Then I scrub clean and then hang to dry. I examine the kitchen area. We could use some better facilities and more things to cook with, I figure. I'll have to make a list, and for groceries, too. Then I lay out 7 bowls on the counter and carefully ladle some into each one. Some of it dribbles off the side, and I grab a clean towel to wipe it up. Frelly ducks her head back in with a bright smile. Something smells good. Need a hand carrying them out? I nod, and between the two of us, we carried them out into the campfire, where all the members of the Silver Shields are waiting. Took you long enough. Serendipity grins, tail swishing back and forth. We're starving out here. Starving, I tell you. Apologize for the wait. Joke that complainers don't get fed. Point out that they finally have a cook. Jokers don't. Yeah. Joke that complainers don't get fed. Absolutely. Beggars can't be choosers. What the fuck? If you complain, then you go back in there and make something yourself. Do you want some cheese with your wine? Oh, got him. With the wine. I got it. Wit would never get fed then. Hey! Jin speaks up hurriedly. Your food looks very delicious, and I have no complaints. Yeah, Jin knows what's up. Same goes here. Love being fed personally. Personally, I love to eat, so I pass out all the bowls and spoons, and everyone takes a seat around the fire and digs in. I take my own, still critiquing what I could have added differently. With her mouth half full, I do the same thing. I'll fucking make any meal, and I'm like, fuck, I could have done this, I could have done that. With her mouth half full, Frelly calls out to me, this is amazing. We are never not having a chef around again. She wipes at her chin with her wrist. Who has a napkin? Radia passes one over to her. Thank you kindly, Effie. It is very much appreciated. If I close my eyes, I can pretend that I'm back in a beautiful city, and a tavern, with a nice soft bed beneath me and a goblet of wine. Why couldn't we get wine again? Do you know how expensive it is? Then get the cheap stuff. Ew, no, we deserve better than cheap wine. If our dear commander had some new jobs for us. They glance pointedly at Darius, who has already wolfed his down. Damn, I'm working on it, Saren. There was a missive the other day. I think there's something in the works. Well, that's what I get for putting you in charge of the rookery, I suppose. Am I supposed to read the letters? Letters are meant to be read. I know things work differently at the Star Spire, but why do you even bother? She knows Zher's not supposed to look, but she does it anyway and plays the innocent card. He is lying. No, me personally, Lodi. Wit lets out a gritted sigh, and Radia holds up a hand. Eat, your soup is getting cold. And you won't warm it up for me? Not a chance. I finish my soup feeling warm, full, and content as I listen to everyone chatter amongst themselves. Is this what dinners will be like from now on? Is this my new home? We'll see. When I look up, I see that Darius's eyes are already on me. Okay, don't look at me. His one good eye looks red in the firelight. Not good eye. He holds up his empty wooden bowl. Wait, is he blind in the other eye? In wooden bowl like it's a goblet made of gold. A toast to a new companion of the Silver Shields, and one who I hope will be a friend to us all. Effie, to you. Everyone does the same, raising their bowl and toast. Some smiles, at least one half-hearted scowl, but a toast all the same. I figured I should say a few words. I'm so happy to be here. To you, Raggedy Crew! To killing monsters and making money. Okay, we're definitely saying to you, Raggedy Crew. That's just too good. Yeah, he's partially blind in one of his eyes. Oh, okay. I raise my own bowl. To you, raggedy old crew. Looks like I came in to breathe some life just in time. No, for real. There's scattered laughter and a wink from Serendipity. We win! Okay, before everyone settles back into conversation. Yeah, that's where we're going. See, I had it planned with Radia and Wit. I guess I'm gonna have to wait because Serendipity's feeling right up my fucking alley right now. I clear everyone's, or Effie's alley, I should say. I clear everyone's plates for the night. The wind getting chilly, Darius shows me to my tent before he too heads to bed. I can hear Serendipity laughing and talking with Frelly, the two of them playing a dicing game. Jin's gone as soon as dinner was over, and Radia tends to the fire while Wit sits with a book outside his tent. Serendipity's on that hot shit for real. My tent is barren compared to theirs, but it's warm, and there's a small cot with a bedroll on top that I crawl into and blow out the tiny candle. Effie? Going slightly in the dark, she appears at the entrance. My apologies for disturbing you. I just wanted to give you something. It is still cold out, and I thought it best you have something to keep you warm. In her arms, she has an orange woven blanket, and she takes a few careful steps in and drapes it over the bedroll. I make them myself for everyone in camp. Good night. Sleep well. Aww! Now you're being able to sew, Radia. A woman after my own heart. With a nod of her head, she closes the flap for me, and I pull the blanket up. It's warm and snug, and I wiggle my toes beneath the blankets. I can still hear the quiet sounds of all the new people I met today in the background and close my eyes. Sleep finds me easily, and I start to suspect that this place really could be a new home. Okay, I have to pee so bad. Go piss, girl! Once I save, though. Let's save. I'll be right back. I also have to be cool. And we back. My hair's so fluffy today, too. Lord of mercy. I wake up early in the morning to the sound of rooster crowing. It startles me out of sleep and I rub my eyes and pull myself out of No, I forget to unmute my mic. Fuck. It's like straight away. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, take two, don't worry. I wake up early in the morning to the sound of a rooster crowing. It startles me out of sleep and I rub up my eyes and pull myself out of bed. Okay, that should work. I don't think it's glitching. I think that time it felt like it just like clicked off by itself, and now I gotta like watch it because why is it doing that? I make my bed and fluff the pillows up. For being a cot and a bedroll and a tent, it was surprisingly comfortable and warm. I carefully adjust the few adventuring materials I have with me and hang up on the rope and my pack along the side. Wow. Then I dig into the depths of my backpack. I find my family's noble signet ring and I try it on for a moment before tucking it in a safe location. I take a seat on my bed, which bends beneath my weight. Unpacked and settled, I take a deep breath of the sweet morning air and let myself sit with my thoughts for a moment. I don't know exactly why I joined yet, but I'm here now and I intend to make the most of it. There's a small basin of clean water just on the edge of my tent, and I use it as a way to wash my hands and back of my neck and face, feeling refreshed and ready for the day. After breakfast, I have my first patrol. It's simple enough. I keep an eye out from small wooden towers and look out into the forest. It's thick with trees, and I watch as birds rise from the canopy and sing. There are other sounds in the woods, critters dashing through the trees, but nothing abnormal, nothing to be concerned about. Darius told me that they occasionally have creatures or monsters that want to try their luck, or bandits who want to rob us of food or treasures, but those are rare, and the longer the Silver Shields have a base here, the less they have tried anything as word got around, and that it was a fool's errand. It gives me a chance to stretch my legs as I do a round of the camp and climb up each post. A tiny squirrel runs along the fence, stopping only to chatter at me before running in the other direction. It's nearing midday when I head back to the guild hall to ask Darius what else he wants me to do. Probably make a damn meal. As I approach, I see the commander in the training yard sitting off to the side with his arms folded and head down like he's asleep. Meanwhile, Frelly and Radia have wooden sticks and shields and are sparring with each other. I stop and watch. Frelly has a large stick and holds her shield out in front of her, planted firmly on the ground, while Radia circles her. She has smaller sticks in both of her hands, and she eyes her up and they circle together. Then Radia lunges like a viper, but Frelly already anticipates it and has her shield blocking both strikes. Good. Again. She attacks again, faster and pushing Frelly back against the edge of the sandpit. You're gonna have to strike back. I don't like hurting you. You assumed the blow would even land? That makes Frelly bring her own stick forward to strike at the taller woman. In a flash, Radia has one of her sticks pressed against Frelly's side and another at her neck, trapping Frelly's arm in a hold. Never allow an enemy's taunts to affect you. They'll do anything to win a fight. Despite looking like he was taking an afternoon nap, Darius's eyes are bright and watching intently. Frelly wipes her brow with a cloth and Radia takes a swig from her water skin in her hip. When you swing with your blade, keep your grip on your shield firm. You need to be in position when they can't retaliate. She leads Frelly around through the motion, pretending to strike again, but this time she has the shield ready to fend her off. Frelly's stick slides through the space between Radia's arm and stomach, and Radia falls to the floor. I am defeated. Frelly laughs and grabs a hand to help her up. Oh, Effie, come to see me as a prevailing champion? She raises her sticks into the air in triumph with a giggle. Radia dusts herself off and inclines her head towards me. In our off time, we enjoy keeping our skills sharp. I believe knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses is important for being a cohesive team, especially on missions. Yeah, I'm sure. Frelly is a strong opponent. Out in the field, she is the one we rely on to draw enemy fire. I could take the hits. She clangs the stick against her metal armor and then shield. I rely on speed and agility. The best attack is when your enemy doesn't see coming. She twirls the sticks in her hand with an expert maneuver. Darius grunts his approval. Speaking of, Effie, why don't you take a turn in the ring? You've told me what you can do, but I'd like to see it in action. Imagine we just like, yeah, we could fight, and then we fucking can't. Radia is our most experienced fighter. Why don't you test your mettle against her? Radia nods and readies herself on one side of the training yard while Frelly takes a seat with Darius. Let's go, Effie. Dropping me just like that? I cheer for you every other day of the year. Someone else needs a turn. Radia nods her head at me, the picturesque form of calm and composed. Blunted weapons and our training sticks are to be used. Magic must be controlled. If injuries are sustained, they must be minor and treatable at best. I just want to see what you're capable of. No foul play. I reach out, meeting her gaze, before two more versions of me suddenly flicker and appear on the field. Oh shit! We're doing our ninjutsu technique! She frowns, glancing between them as we all shift and move together. She lunges at the first and it vanishes in a puff of smoke. She suddenly sends one stick careening towards my second illusion, while she bounces onto me, pinning me to the floor. Ma'am? A good trick until you are caught. We both straighten and brush the sand off of the spar, and she gives me a nod and passes me a water skin to drink from. Thank you for that. Darius has been watching intently the entire time. I mean, I would be too. It's like, I'm impressed you are no slouch. There have been some who can talk up their skills, but not everyone can back it up. You're also lucky that Radia is holding back. Just wait a couple of years. She stops pulling her punches. I simply pushed you to your best, and you are older now. How long have you been training together? I didn't think the guild was that old. It is not. We've known each other for a long time. Darius collects his things with a nod and heads back into the guild hall while we all sit alongside of the building to rest after the spar. I served in the Sunrise Sanctuary. It is where we met. It's the Temple of Might within is later. What's the sanctuary like? Very busy, full of people and full of life and people, a place of community. Parents always knew their children would be safe when they were dropped off there. It is the largest temple in the city. Maiden is special to the people there. The Beacon is the leader there. She offers wisdom and guidance and makes all the decisions that affect the sanctuary. Frelly chuckles. The bacon. Just not listening. Radia and she share just make it a joke. Radia and she share a laugh. And Frelly must notice my confused expression as she waves a hand my way. That's what I called her when I was little. I grew up there. Well, more than that. She's her mother. She's my mom. Aw, they both say it at the same time and Frelly laughs again. The Beacon Lightshaper, Clan Lightshaper, has been involved with the sanctuary since it was built. I don't know if I'll be worthy enough to be the Beacon myself, but I still want to do right by it and Maiden. That's why I'm here. I want to help people, and this is a more direct way of doing that. How did you become involved with the sanctuary, Radia? The Beacon saved my life and took me along a new path. She opened my eyes to a different way of life and was patient with me when a few others would be. I'll never know what she saw in me that inspired such conviction, but I am forever grateful. Are you close with your family? I don't have a family. No, we definitely do. I think we are. Why not? Very close. I plan on writing them frequently while I'm here. I imagine, okay, this is what I think, is that, like, so we have, like, noble parents, right? And you think we wouldn't be on good terms with them and that we're running away. We're not. We told them what we were gonna do, and they're like, okay, that's fucking weird, but go crazy, I guess. Just, like, let us know where you are. And so we're like, yeah, okay. And they're like, we can't control our crazy daughter who just does whatever the fuck she wants. And I imagine that because we practice magic and stuff too, it also makes them a little bit more worried, but they think it would be more dangerous to hold her down. So they're just like, you know what, if we let her do what she's supposed to do, she probably won't go crazy. They're like, okay babes, go on your gap year adventure. No, really. You're very close. They plan on writing to them frequently while I'm here. I also like the idea of her being like, Mommy, Daddy. She's like very close to her rich ass parents, you know. She's a bit spoiled, but we like her. Jin trains the ravens to deliver messages from here. She would be happy to help get them sent on their way. Don't put anything in here, in there you wouldn't want Jim to read. I've got a lot of siblings, but I'm the eldest daughter. A lot of them left Eslador and the Sanctuary long before I did. It is good for you to experience the world beyond its walls, she snorts. Tell that to the bacon. I did. Radia gives me a nod. It was good to spar with you, Effie. I think you will be a good person to have at our side in battle. She taps Frelly's shoulder. Again now, your footwork needs improvement. You're worse than any drill sergeant. Ugh. Sorry. I leave the two to their training and head past the front of the guild hall. The door is partially ajar, and Darius is squinting wearily at the piece of parchment, engrossed in whatever it says. There's a flurry of activity over to the right that catches my attention. There's a small garden with a freshly tilled soil and a chicken running around clucking. Jin is sitting cross-legged in the dirt, while Serendipity grunts as they lug a cloth sack over. Why exactly do I have to do this? I should be painting the guild hall, or something with much less labor involved. Darius said it builds character. He doesn't think I have enough character? That would be a first. They aren't the only one looking miserable. Wit is leaning against the fence, face screwed up in disgust. It's a punishment. We haven't done anything wrong. Well, I haven't. Darius peers out the side window. Jesus. You've been slacking. Back to work with you. He shoves the curtain across and closes the door, presumably to stop hearing the complaints. He's got me there. Jin perks up when she sees him. You should join us. Please, another pair of hands. What are you doing? Jin gestures around the plot of land. It is planting season. The air is bright. It will be helpful for you. We are growing our own food here. And your herbs don't think this is a selfless task? They are helpless. They are helpful. It is not selfish. You're only complaining because you've never needed them, Wit. What do they do? They are medicinal to treat various ailments. She says a word I can't even begin to process. What? She gestures with a hand opening and closing a fist. Healer, herbalist, at home. I am here too. I must grow the things I cannot find in the woods. She gestures to a shovel. You should help. It's a less question and more order, so I pick up the shovel and begin to dig. Serendipity follows, planting various seeds into the ground. Damn, we're in our Stardew Valley era. Wit grumbles the entire time, attempting to plant various things by himself at the fence. It's a labor intensive, and I'm sweating soon. A fat hen waddles by and clucking at me. She says you are not going fast enough. Okay. And what if I punch this hen right now? I'm just joking. I would never. Oh, is that what she says? Alfie, how could you? We're doing our best here. Alfie, the hen, begins to eat the seeds, and Serendipity has to pick her up and bring her back to the coop. The rooster crows at them. None of the animals here like me. I swear you're telling them mean things about me, Jin. I would never. They come to their own conclusions. Serendipity clicks their tongue and shoots a glance at the rooster. This isn't over, Crowbar. He crows at them again. All right, I won't touch your lady again. We continue to work, slowly, haphazardly, but still work. Once we are done covering the soil back up, Jin kneels beside it and begins whispering to all the plants, encouraging them to grow. Aw, I don't know if it's magic or if it's just something she does. She glances up. We need more seeds for the next section. Wit, go and get them. You're not allowed to order me around. You don't outrank me. Ask nicely and I'll consider it. No one outranks anybody in the Silver Shields. Wit. Effie, go and get them. Okay, I'll go get them. I'm not your first choice. I'm hurt. No, for real. Jin, I'm hurt. I'm not your first choice to order around? You are now? He doesn't listen to me. When you have something worth listening to, try again. Shut the fuck up, Wit! Serendipity grins. You should go with her. What if she gets terribly lost? How did you get lost in this? Ugh. Frost suddenly crests all across the fence as he grips it. Shoo, you will kill all the seeds. Shoo, you will kill all the seeds. Wit rolls his eyes and takes the chance to storm off. I follow after him, mostly because I need to get the next bag of seeds. He whirls around on me, arms crossed. You can't seriously think this is what you want to do. This work is demeaning. It's beneath me. Radia thinks she's playing the hero by signing up for this, and we're doing what? Digging holes in the dirt? Whatever reason you're here for, there must be a way out. There isn't, and it's none of your business. Is gardening really that bad? It's not about the gardening. They set me up for failure. Tend the fire, tend the garden, things that ice kills. His jaw clenched tight, and he fixes me with a harsh glare. Why are you even here? I'm not really sure. This is where my path took me. So you just meandered over to a mercenary guild? You must have a death wish. Where are you from? Just ignore them. Don't ask me questions. We're not friends. He storms off his tent without another word, leaving me to grab the seeds and bring them back on my own. Spicy. Wit checked out? I'm surprised he lasted this long. Jin looks up from Zerd nursing of the plants. Strangely, some of them are already starting to sprout. If he would make an effort, then maybe he wouldn't get jobs he hates. That's true. You're right. Give him tasks better suited him. Nah, you're right. We ain't trying to romance Wit this time. It's cool. He's like a spicy mint. No, really. I nod. We're all part of the team. We all have to do things we might not want to do. He never wants to do anything. I help finish up with the gardening, planting the seeds with Jin and serendipity for the rest of the day. I make dinner again that night. I chop up vegetables and add them to a large pot and stir in the rice. Sprinkling in seasonings and adding a sauce over top, I let it come to rest before plating it up and delivering it. Commander Darius helps, taking a few of the plates and handing them out. I see him sneak a sip from a flask at his hip. Jin gestures for him to share, but he shakes his head and tucks it away. We take our meals outside by the crackling fire. The wood smoke and burning cedar fills the air and drifts up in the multitude of stars above us. The moon is nearly full and a few days off, but it's still big and bright and illuminating the camp. It's chilly tonight, and I barely suppress a shiver and try to find room by the fire, but it's pretty crowded. I'll need to pick someone to sit next to. Oh, goodness. The choices, I'm overwhelmed. No, it's okay. There we go. We're going for Saren. I take a seat next to Serendipity, who leans back solicitously. Couldn't stay awake, could you now? Not really. We're simple. I needed a place to sit, and you were as good as any. Damn. Good as any, I'm hurt. Their tail snakes around the log as they grin. You should know I'm the best choice. I mean, it's the first choice. Did the others have a vote on it? They all collectively agreed you're the best of the bunch? They don't need to. They lean in, lowering their voice to a whisper. I can read their minds. Oh shit. What am I thinking right now then? They scan me up and down, eyes sparkling with amusement. You're thinking about how devastatingly attractive I am. Damn, they got me. Fuck, they got me. I shake my head and take a bite off my plate. Nope, thinking about how good I am at cooking and how lucky you are to have me around. I think you need your powers checked again. Okay, these two, house on fire. They lean back, watching me behind hooded eyes. Hide it all you want. You can only deny the truth for so long. Hey, I have coercion. I'll fucking lie about it. The truth? That you are charmed by me. Don't you do this with every new person? You're the first. I don't believe you. No, truly, you're the first new person. I was the latest one to join, so you are the first. And when I'm no longer the shiny new thing around camp, they wave me off. Who cares about that day when I can think about now? They lean against their hand. You can't fault me for a little bit of flirting, can you? Helps pass the time. That's true, it does. I don't mean anything by it, unless you want me to. I did choose you to sit next to, didn't I? Their tail smacks the ground triumphantly. I knew I was on to you, Effie. We finish up our meal together before I head back to my tent for the night. They're on to me. They fucking know. They know. They know. Oh no. It's early the next morning when I get up to make breakfast. I want to make it before everyone else gets up, but that dream goes out the window quickly. Radia is sitting cross-legged outside her tent with her hands resting on each knee. Her eyes are closed and the chilly morning air doesn't seem to affect her at all. She glances up, giving me a warm smile. Good morning. Sleep well? I nod and head over to her tent. Damn! Did you? Always. Join me. Taking a seat, she stretches her hands out in front of her, flexing her wrist back. It is peaceful here before the camp wakes up. It's a way to steady my mind and center myself for the day. Do you ever meditate? Hell no. Does Effie look like they meditate? No, never. Breathe with me. I do as she says and match her position. I close my eyes, attempting to clear my mind and focus on my breath. I can hear her own steady breaths beside me. I close my eyes and try to clear my mind of all thought. Immediately, I think about the feeling of the clothes on my back and the wind on my face, and strange, inane thoughts pop into my head. I open my eyes and glance at her, and she smiles. When on practice, it can be difficult. Do not fault yourself for it. She is fully focused and her posture is perfect. Mastering your mind means mastering your body, and I intend to be a master of both. I mean, you're doing a good job. It can be so easy to fall into unhealthy habits or to say or do things you don't mean because you are not in control of yourself. Self-discipline allows you to live your life exactly as you intend to. Her eyes flick to me. I mean, this only for myself. Everyone lives their life differently, but it is my perspective. That sounds really nice. What if I like bad habits? I don't live it myself. That's crazy. I don't think it's limiting yourself. What if I like bad habits? I happen to love all my bad habits and vices. She laughs. And there is no shame in that. It's what makes you human, isn't it? She straightens her back again. Emotions are a tangled mess. They are not, she takes a breath, inherently evil. Jealousy, disgust, annoyance, these are things we feel naturally. Even anger? She meets my gaze and there's an intensity to it, like she's searching for something. I'm not sure yet. Do you ever get angry? Never. I do not allow myself. I meditate. I practice self-control. But you still feel it then? No, because I have mastered my mind. Okay, Jan. She lets out a breath, takes in another one, holds it for a few seconds and releases it. What are you doing up so early? Making breakfast. Don't let me keep you then. It was good to speak with you. I get to my feet and head over to the Guildhall kitchen. I begin to prep breakfast. Holy shit. Grabbing a large frying pan and striking up the fire. Out of the corner of my eye, I see someone peeking around the corner and I startle for a moment before I realize it's Jen. Brought these for you? She places a basket on the counter. It's full of eggs. These are from Alfie. Do we just have that one hen? One hen, one rooster. Darius wants more, but we must expand the gardens first. I take the eggs and crack them, frying them up with the sizzling bacon. It would be nice to have our livestock, a cow or a goat. We had goats at the Starspire. They have so much to say, mostly complaints. What other animals do we have here? There's Peach, she has been with Darius for years, and Cricket, he enjoys taking rides in the woods and fresh apples from the village. Alfie and Crowbar, he's very protective over her. Then Manny, she is very clever and sends letters out for us. She enjoys finding shiny objects, so keep hold of your coin. G tilts her head. Do you need any letters sent? I've been meaning to write to my family, letting them know I got here safe. Jin nods. Manny takes it to Aslador, and they send it further from there. Do you ever send letters home? To the Starspire, was it? G shrugs. They don't send things to me. When they do, I'll respond. Do you wish they would? It is different. We are expected to leave the nest to learn and grow, sail the stars on our own. And I have Darius. He talks to me every day. He doesn't need to send letters. When did you meet Darius? She closes her eyes and thinks for a moment. 40 moons ago. 3 years. How did you meet him? They came to the Starspire. They were hunting a beast who roosted in the mountain. I was their guide. When Darius was injured during the fight, I was the one to heal him. He asked me to come with them, and it was nice for me to stretch my wings. Who's they? Jin glances around, lowering her voice to a hushed whisper. I told you not to speak of him. Oh, I didn't know you didn't. She shakes her head, cutting me off from speaking any further. Not here. Not now. I finish cooking the eggs and bacon and plating up 7 dishes. I cut a loaf of bread, carefully buttering a slice of each and putting it on the plate. Jin takes her own plate, and her hands are too wobbly for me to trust Jem with anyone else's. Frelly yawns and stretches, sleepily taking a bite. Wish we could get coffee here. You do not need coffee. It gives me energy. Nothing's wrong with that. Jen begins to boil a pot of herbal tea over the embers of the campfire, passing it around. Serendipity takes it gratefully. Aren't you a dear, dear? Nice. Whit wrinkles his face up and waves Jem away. You should have some. It's good for you. I don't like tea. Roddy takes a sip from her cup. This is why you're so cranky all the time. That's true. He bristles, but does not relent. You slept in. You missed our morning meditation. Effie had to take your spot. She can have it permanently. Oh, Darius clears his throat. We've had a missive recently, a new mission, paying a good amount of gold to scout one of our ruins in the woods and return with what we find. Frelly's hands shoot up. I can take the lead on that. He points at her. Took the words out of my mouth. She beams, sitting back on the log and shoveling eggs into her mouth. Darius nods on a piece of bacon, glancing around at the rest of the group. Take Serendipity and Whit with you. Serendipity sidles up next to her, lounging an arm all around her shoulder. We will make a talented team, no? If I can keep you focused. I'm always on task when you're in charge. You keep me on my toes. Then the fourth should be Radia. He shoots her a look and she just shrugs. It's up to the commander. It'll be good for you to be with the others. Guess I finally get a break from you leering over my shoulder. I think you like the leering. You wouldn't have begged the commander to put her on every mission with you otherwise. Oh! She's the one competent one on the lot of you. Shut up. Darius pinches the bridge of his nose. Last one on the mission will be Effie. I want her to get some experience out in the field. He gives me a nod and tears off a paper for Frelly to look over. Pack your things, you'll be leaving this afternoon. The mission should take a couple of days. And our chef has left us already? We'll make do, kid. Damn. Breakfast is finished and orders are received. The camp disperses as I head to my tent to pack up my backpack full of things I'll need. I'm excited about the mission. Obviously they need my expertise. I'd rather stay home. Obviously they need my expertise. Hello. Clearly Darius thinks I'm the best fit for the mission, so who am I to question that? They obviously need an expert and I'm here to provide. Damn, they're so delusional. Holy shit. Oh, shit. Save. With my backpack full of supplies, I sling it over my shoulder and gather up everything I need before meeting my adventuring party for this journey at the gate. Thank you for playing the demo. Keep an eye out on the project page for updates. Oh, you know what? It's good because I'm feeling actually sadly very lightheaded today. I've been struggling with it a lot the last couple of days, so I was like, fuck, and only like an hour in. No, don't worry. I'm planning on going to the doctor's actually pretty soon because I probably need to, but I'm glad that I was able to get through it. And I was gonna do the other options, but I just don't have it in me at the moment right now. I'm so sorry. So I appreciate it, but I had a great time. Like I really did. Yeah, I definitely will, because I think it might be like an ear infection, maybe, is what I'm thinking it is. And absolutely take a break. Take a break. I gotta sing that song every time. It was very good though. I'm gonna be leaving a rating and a review when I get some time later today. Also, the eclipse is supposed to happen, so I was looking forward to that. But I had a great time. It's actually, like, it went by really fast. It always does when you're having fun. But I really like Effie. I wasn't expecting to go after Serendipity my first time around, but I do not regret my choice. I think I made the right choice. Oh yeah, eclipse. I don't know what time it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be like at 1 o'clock or something like that, so we'll see. I like Effie a lot. I'll probably make her like in Baldur's Gate when I get some time, because I have like an idea of what they look like in my head. They're like very fancy blonde Duchess looking in my like head. They give me like Marie Antoinette vibes. Like like I don't know. They're giving me a look. But I'll work on it. But yeah, I guess that's going to be the end of the stream today. I don't even know if I'll be streaming the next couple of days, but we'll see. I just need to get this checked out and go from there, basically. But I had fun, regardless of all that. So thank you for dropping by. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I probably will. So thank you. Have a good day. Bye.